You got a friend in me, take her to the moon for me. So long, partner. How many times is Pixar gonna make me cry? What is up, Film Geeks? My name is Trevor and welcome to my channel. Disney Plus just dropped the brand new Pixar movie in Turning Red, making it the 25th Pixar movie. So we're going to rank all 25 of those Pixar movies, place them on their proper tiers. Join me down below in the comment section. How does your ranking compare with mine? These are just my list, my thoughts on these movies. Gonna have some hot takes in here, and with that said, let's get into our tiers. So first up with our tiers, we have top 5, then we have great, then we have good, then we have okay, then we have meh, then we have bad. I think there's gonna be maybe like 1 or 2 in the bad tier, if that, because Pixar is one of the best studios working today. These movies are in no particular order. Let's get into it. First up with Soul. Soul is going to go in the okay tier. I mentioned there will be some hot takes on this list, and this is one of my hot takes. I think Soul is a fine movie. I never bought into the hype of Soul, and I'm really kind of mad at myself that I didn't. I wanted to love this movie. Came out on Christmas. I woke up early to watch this on Christmas morning. I really wanted to love it, and I've only watched that once, so maybe if I go back and give it a rewatch, I'll enjoy it more, because I've done that with a couple other these movies we'll get to here in a second, and when I went back to rewatch them, I enjoyed them more. I think that could happen with Soul. It's in the okay tier. I know a lot of people that's their favorite. I know a lot of people love this movie, but for me, it's okay. And we have Cars 2. Obviously, Cars is just bad. Cars 2 is unfortunately not the movie that anyone really wanted, especially after Cars, the first one, which I think is a good movie. And you have Cars 2, which is not about racing. Mater's the lead. It's a spy thriller, espionage. It's weird. It feels like one of those movies that goes straight to DVD. And it got a theatrical release, and Cars 2 is just, it's just bad. That's it. That's all there is to it. Then we have the Good Dinosaur. Not too strong of a start here, but Good Dinosaur is going to go in the meh tier. I believe the Good Dinosaur is so much like The Lion King, and hear me out on that, because the Good Dinosaur is about this kid who's kind of scared, and he kind of wants all these other things, and him and his dad go on this adventure, and he sees his dad die right before his eyes. Then he has to go on this soul-searching adventure with someone he meets along the way, and then comes back a bigger and better person, or in this case, dinosaur. That's kind of like The Lion King. Never resonated with this movie. I didn't really love the animation style. I just didn't like the story. I just felt bored. Didn't feel like this movie had that Pixar magic, and I wanted to love the Good Dinosaur, but unfortunately, it's meh. It's meh. Then we have Cars 3, which I actually think is a good movie. This is a much bigger step up than Cars 2, and it's back to the racing roots. And Lightning McQueen is a little bit older. The new day and age of racing is kind of getting past him, getting ahead of him. And you get Cruz Ramirez, a lot of awesome new characters in here, and it just kind of seals off the Cars franchise inside the Pixar franchise so well. Cars 3, it hits on the emotions. I remember my girlfriend and I almost cried. My girlfriend did cry when we saw this, and we saw that Doc Hudson was no longer with us. I mean, man, that is sad. Then we have Bug's Life, and this category is going to be a stacked one today. Bug's Life is a great movie. I know a lot of the people aren't the biggest fan of this one, and I believe this is off of the Seven Samurai, kind of like the same kind of story about a bunch of misfits all getting together to fight a bigger army. I think it has a great villain on Hopper, and I think Flick is one of the most likable Pixar characters. I absolutely love Flick, so I think Bug's Life is probably the most underrated Pixar movie, and every time I watch it, I laugh, I have fun, I love the animation style, I love how well it holds up for when it came out all those years ago. I think Bug's Life is absolutely fantastic. Which is your favorite Bug's Life character? Let me know. I'm going with the caterpillar. Next up, we have Incredibles 2. I think Incredibles 2 is a good movie. Now, when I first saw this, I thought it was better than the first Incredibles, and now that I've rewatched both, I think it isn't as good as the first Incredibles. We'll get to first Incredibles here in a second, but Incredibles 2 works very well. The only thing I wish it had was the Underminer as the main villain, because we waited all those years, and then you get the new villain in the Screenslaver, I believe his name is, and it works well, but this movie really works well with the family dynamic, and that's what I love about it, with Elastigirl being like the main focus. She's out there, she gets to be the superhero in this movie, and then Mr. Incredible has to stay home with the kids and do math, and it's a very relatable movie, and I think when I have kids, I will be able to relate to this movie more, because math is math. This movie's funny, especially the scene with Baby Jack Jack and the raccoon. That is hilarious. It's a good movie. It really is. All the people with the powers at the end. I want a third Incredibles, but probably have to wait till 2030 for that one. Next up, we have WALL-E. I mentioned I had hot takes. WALL-E. Okay, tier. I just can't get into this movie, and by the end, when everyone's like these big fat sausages, I can't do it. I'm sorry. I just can't. Then we're moving on to Turning Red. Turning Red is going in the meh tier. I did not really enjoy this movie, and I feel that it's a very divisive, probably the most divisive movie that has come out for Pixar. You either love it, or you're just not loving it all that much, and I'm not even in the middle. I'm more on the not loving it so much side, and that's okay. If you loved it, great for you. Moving on, we have Monsters, Inc. going in that stacked category of the great tier. Monsters, Inc. Everything more you want in a Pixar movie. I mean, as a kid, you were scared of the monster in the closet, or scared of the monster under your bed, and they attack that so well in this movie, letting you know that you don't need to be scared. Those monsters could be friendly. Could be a big blue and purple guy who's there to scare you, but then he's a big lovely softy guy at the end. So many things to love about this movie, from the characters to the screenplay to the score to the music, and to Welcome to the Himalayas, the Abominable Snowman. I love the friendship between Mike and Sloyd. That's what this movie is. It's a bromantic comedy. I love it. So Monsters, Inc. is absolutely great. Then we have Inside Out. Take it to the moon for me, okay? Top 5. This is one of those movies, as I mentioned earlier, when I go back and rewatch it, I'll enjoy it more. When I first watched Inside Out, it wasn't for me. It was more in the okay meh tier. As I've rewatched it, and I rewatch it all the time now, Inside Out hits on every note for me. Certain characters I get annoyed with, I think that's the point of it. Like sadness, she makes everything sad and dark and gloomy. But when you meet the character of Bing Bong, one of my personal favorite Pixar characters, I fell in love with this movie when Bing Bong really comes into the movie and really kind of shows everything that's going on. And when he says that line,
"Take her to the moon for me, okay?"
I'll try.
I was really enjoying this movie, but when the character Bing Bong gets introduced, one of my favorite Pixar characters, that's when I fell in love with this movie, this story. It'll tug on your heartstrings, brings out the emotions. It's sad, it hits on the emotional levels. Inside Out is bloody fantastic. Then we have Toy Story 3. This is actually a pretty good stretch right here. Toy Story 3, top 5. Actually, if you must know, Toy Story 3 is my favorite Pixar movie. It is my favorite animated movie of all time. You grew up with Andy. This movie hits on those emotional heart levels, but the beginning opening scene, when everything feels like you're watching this epic, awesome movie, that's how you felt as a kid when you're playing with your toys and your imagination is roaming. That's how you felt when in reality you have a cereal box cut into a spaceship. That's what's so great about this movie. Captures that magic, and when Woody says "so long, partner," I mean, it capped off this trilogy so well. They made a 4th one, we'll get to here in a second. Toy Story 3 works so well for me. It is my favorite Pixar movie. It's my favorite animated movie of all time. I mean, so long, partner. Then we have Coco. What color is the sky? Going to the top 5, the top 5. Coco works so well for me, from the animation style to the music to just the vibe and how this movie makes me feel. And Coco makes me feel almost every emotion there is. I laugh, I want to dance, I want to sing. Those aren't really emotions, but I'm gonna toss them in there. It'll make you cry, it'll make you happy, and overall it's just an awesome vibe with possibly the best looking animation style in any of the Pixar movies. Coco, these characters and this adventure they go on, just is so awesome and epic, with one of the best soundtracks in movie history. Coco is the top 5 Pixar movie for me. I absolutely love it. Then we have Toy Story 2. Gonna go in that great tier. Toy Story 2 still is a great movie. Get introduced to the characters of Jessie and Bullseye. Really made this movie great. I mean, Toy Story 2, it's great. It's great, right? Then we have Brave and Won't Change Me Fate. My redheaded sister right there. It's gonna go in the okay tier. I don't think Brave is a great movie. I don't think it's a bad movie. I think it's just right there in the middle as okay. This movie is very interesting towards the beginning. Get a lot of How to Train Your Dragon vibes. I'm like, okay, I can get behind this movie. And everyone turns into a bear, and that's where it kind of loses me, and that's like the majority of the movie. When I watched this for the first time, I wasn't expecting that, and then when that happened, I was kind of like, whoa, that took a turn left out of nowhere. So Brave is, it's okay. I want to change my fate. Then we have Onward, and Onward I love so much, and it's going in the top 5. Onward hits on that brotherhood factor so hard, and I'm very close to my brother, so that's why I can relate to this movie so well. And this movie hits on those emotions with that brother relationship, and any movie revolving around brothers hits really hard for me, and why I love these movies like this. I love this adventure. I love the voice cast of Chris Pratt and Tom Holland. You really can't get better voice casting for than that. And the animation style and the adventure they go on, it's just fun. And Ian just wants to meet his dad for the first time, and then he says to Barley, "I didn't have dad, but I had you," and dang it, I cried. I cry almost every time, man. Onward hits hard. Then we have Toy Story 4. I'm just gonna say it's a cash grab. It's fine. It's a good movie, but it's a cash grab. Cool characters, but if it finished on Toy Story 3, that would have been perfect. But Toy Story 4 is my least favorite Toy Story movie, but I still enjoy it. I still have some fun with it. Like characters like Bunny, and Ducky are fun characters, and seeing all of our characters back in action is great to see. And this is more of a Woody and Bo Peep movie. Now the other characters kind of sided off, so Toy Story 4 I wanted a lot more from it, and I enjoyed it. It's a good movie. It's a good movie. Then we have Luca, and Luca's actually gonna go in the good tier. My girlfriend absolutely loves this movie, so when I first saw it, I was like, that's a meh, okay movie. But we watch it all the time, so Luca's good. I enjoy it. I have fun. Great voice casting, awesome animation, and the last 30 minutes is when it really captures that Pixar magic, as I keep saying. Then we have the first Incredibles going to go in the great tier. I can't believe this is in the top 5. This is one of my favorite superhero movies of all time, but Incredibles is so awesome and epic, and I wanted to be Dash as a kid. I mean, I wanted to be able to run fast and have superpowers, and I wanted a super family, and that's what this movie hits on there. The super family has to live normal when they want to live extravagant lives, and this movie is just cool. It literally is like the coolest vibe. Like, you're just chilling, watching this with your kids, watching this with your family, and you're just having a good time, because Incredibles is awesome. Honey, where's my super soup? Then we have Ratatouille, putting Ratatouille in the top 5 tier, finishing off that top 5 tier. Ratatouille means a lot to me for maybe not the reasons it means a lot to you, but I love to cook, and this movie hits hard for me a lot, because whenever I watch this movie, it gets me so inspired to cook. And this movie hits on the factor of it doesn't matter where you come from, it matters where you go from there. That's exactly what this movie is. He's a rat who wants to cook in France, and he doesn't let that like almost adversity kind of like bring him down on following his dreams. And you watch this as a kid, it's fun. He's pulling this guy's hair around cooking, so it makes for a fun, entertaining time. When you're watching this as an adult, you literally are saying to yourself, no matter what, you should go after your dreams. And I'm getting a little deep here, but that's exactly what I feel when I watch this movie, that whatever you want, you need to go after it. It doesn't matter where you come from, it matters where you go from there. Ratatouille is in the top 5, sealing off the top 5 tier. Then we have Up. Adventure is out there, going in the great tier. Up is beautiful. It's heartbreaking within the first 10 minutes. One of the best short films of all time. In that first 10 minutes, if you want to count that as a short film. But the rest of the movie is just showing you that, and again, no matter what, never give up on your dream. No matter how old you get or how long you wait, you can always go after and do it. And this has one of my favorite scenes, or one of my favorite shots in Pixar history. When all the balloons come out of the house, that is one of the most beautiful shots I've ever seen in a movie ever. I love the relationship between Mr. Fredricksen and Russell. I love Doug the dog. I just met you, and I love you. And I love Kevin the bird, and has a really good villain and a really good story. And overall, it's a really, really good message. And Up just... gosh, I wish it went up from there. Then we have the first Toy Story going in the great tier. When I watched this for the first time, I was convinced my toys and stuffed animals were having a ball when I was off of school. And that's what's so great about this movie. That's what it made you feel like when you left. Like, oh, my teddy bears, my sharks, and my little action figures are all running around having fun in my room. When I'm out of school and I come home, we play together, and that's what's so epic and awesome about this movie, that hits on all those levels, and you become really emotionally attached to these movies. I absolutely love Toy Story. How do you not love Toy Story? Then we have Monsters U. I said that great category was going to be stacked. Monsters U in the great tier. Monster University works on every level for me, because I love a prequel done right, and this is a prequel done greatly. Getting to find out how Mike and Sully met, how they're so at odds at first, and then we obviously know that they become best friends later in the movie in Monsters Inc. But with this one, like, they're two different people, two peas in a pod, trying to be able to overcome the differences and become friends. And the fraternity Uzma Kappa, which is awesome. And they have these fraternity games. Who wants to be a scarer? And Mike is a guy who wants to be a scarer, and he has to face a lot of adversity trying to become that because of like his physical features. But then slowly it comes so easy to him, so they go to Uzma Kappa, one of the smallest and kind of weakest fraternities, and they go out there to the frat games and they have fun. And this movie, again, is a vibe. And when I watch this, I'm just hanging out, having fun, man. That's exactly what Monsters U is. And it'll make you want to go play volleyball with your friends. Like, no lie. That's what I feel like when I watch this movie. And I judge movies on how they make me feel. Monsters U makes me feel like I'm a cool-ass kid. Then we have Finding Nemo going in the great tier. Clownfish will literally go across the ocean to go and save his son and overcome everything he has to make sure his son is safe. Finding Nemo hits on all those levels, and then when I become a parent, I almost guarantee this will be in my top 5, if not my top 1. My top 1 favorite Pixar movie. Then we have the first Cars. Life is a Highway going right there to the good tier. Radiator Springs in that world is epic and awesome, and Lightning McQueen is one of the coolest characters around, and Mater is one of my favorite Pixar characters. I absolutely love Cars. Then finally, we have Finding Dory. Honestly, it's going in the okay tier for one reason and one reason only. Bailey. Ooh! This again feels kind of like a cash grab, but it's fun. There's lots of fun to be had, and when I watched it in the theaters, I really enjoyed it. When I rewatched it and rewatched it again, it just went down and down and down from there. The characters of Hank, Dory, and Bailey really just made this movie for a very fun time, a very awesome time, and Finding Dory is just a okay movie because it feels like a cash grab, and Nemo and Marlin are barely in the movie, but Dory's going to find out things about her past. There's things to enjoy. I just wish I loved it more than I do. It's in the okay tier, and that's okay. Let me know your ranking down below in the comment section. If you don't want to do all 25, leave your top 5 favorite Pixar movies. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit the thumbs up button for me. Hit the subscribe button for me. Leave your thoughts on these movies down below in the comment section. Lots more content coming this week. I'm excited for all of it. I'll see you guys very soon. Talk to you next time. Peace.